It started with a tweet. A harmless little joke pointing out a funny little silly thing with the design of Kratos. In some games, his left nipple is red, covered by his tattoo, and in some, it is ash white from the curse Kratos is destined to carry forever. Some joined in on the fun, some took it way too seriously. Everything was going normally. But then, Captain Cuba, the god of the God of War community, has graced the post with a reply. As he does, he had already found seeds for a theory only his brilliant mind could conjure. Shocked, honored, but keeping my cool, I replied. A joke to a joke. Until a task. A god commanded me, and who am I to refuse?
I am no coward.
It was my duty, my honor, to get to the truth. Welcome to another page of the Midgard Chronicle, a page in which I did find the truth. Let's bring attention to the colors at hand here, red and white. Red is naturally blood, pain, anger, war. It is the color of Kratos' tattoos, a constant reminder of his brother, the one he failed to save, sending him to a ruthless pass until he went too far. White, on the other hand, is innocence, purity, but also hope, something all of you know is integral to the character of Kratos. Together, they make up Kratos, the ash and tattoos, hope, and anger. Let's take a look at what games have red nipple Kratos, and which the white. Notice how the white nipple ones are the ones in which Kratos is most hopeful. The hope to remember and find himself, the literal power of hope, and the hope to go beyond past mistakes and make sure his son doesn't follow his path. On the contrary, the ones with the red nipple represent anger and lack of hope. A Kratos who's angry at being the servant of the gods, angry at not being able to stay with his daughter. The Kratos on the brink who's literally lost hope and is ready to end it all. And the Kratos full of anger, rejected by the gods, betrayed by Zeus, and out for revenge. Also, what does the left nipple hide? The heart. And, in a way, the color of the nipple reflects where Kratos' heart was in that specific game. So, is this it? Is the nipple color really just a metaphor for the level of hope Kratos has? Or perhaps just a design decision by the developers because painting a nipple red doesn't really make sense? Of course it isn't. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We have to go deeper, and fortunately, the gods have graced us with the means to start digging. The key word that stands out in this message is, of course, timelines. However, God always gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers, and he tried to put me off the scent by suggesting every game is taking place in a different timeline when that's clearly not the case. But fear not, I am a tough soldier and I have pieced it all together. If we put the images chronologically, there is a clear line when red nipple becomes white, specifically in between the events of God of War 2 and 3. And what happens between God of War 2 and 3? The time travel and timeline situation. Now things are really coming together. There is a popular hypothesis going around that the events of God of War 2 create a loop. Kratos dies, is revived by the Titans, kills the Fates, and comes back to take revenge on Zeus, while he is killing Kratos, and the cycle repeats. However, there is a critical detail that destroys this logic. Zeus destroying the Spartan army. When Kratos starts fighting with Zeus, he inadvertently changes the timeline, preventing his father from killing the army. Because of that, a critical point in Kratos' journey to the Fates, specifically his encounter with the last Spartan, and the realization that Sparta has been destroyed, is now gone. Why is this part significant? Because this is the point at which Kratos practically gives up before being remotivated by Gaia.
Take within you this fire that burned your beloved Sparta. Let it fuel your rage and hasten your steps towards destiny.
Unlocking his pure, true rage, the rage that will cause him to destroy all the gods and wreak havoc on Olympus. Without the low of finding out of Sparta's destruction, Kratos would not have gone to the extremes of the rage he had and learned his lesson. That Kratos, the one who ultimately found hope at the height of his rage, is the white nipple Kratos. Even though his nipple was already white at the start of God of War 3, his journey towards finding hope had already started, reflected in his nipple. But what happens to the other Kratos? The one who's never found out that Sparta was destroyed, the Kratos that didn't go to the lows that he did, as a result of which he never went to the extreme rage that drove him to kill all of Olympus. Would that Kratos find the hope he needed to find salvation? Without the rage, would he even be able to defeat the Fates, let alone face Zeus and bring the destruction of Olympus? Now that
is an interesting question.
See, for a time, what we're dealing with here is not multiple timelines, but two Kratoses, being in one timeline at the same time. One quote-unquote regular one that we follow, and the alternate one. A new timeline manifests itself when the new alternative Kratos travels back to confront Zeus. He is still extremely angry, but without knowing that his army is dead and his city destroyed. Does he have that edge to beat his father? I'm not sure. But what I do know for sure is that whether Kratos loses and is sent to Hades, or it plays out properly and he beats Zeus and kills Athena, I know one thing: that extreme rage that clouded his judgment is not there, and that makes all the difference. While the original Kratos travels back to get the Titans and start a war, this new one could make a more level-headed decision. He has the power to travel back in time anywhere. Now here comes the mind-blowing part. You may notice that my theory has one gaping flaw so far. Kratos' nipple is white in God of War Ascension. But what if this Kratos is not the one that we think? What if this Kratos is the alternate one? The one who didn't have that extreme rage, the one who thought more clearly. What if this is the Kratos who, instead of traveling back to the times of the Great War, traveled back to the night his family died to save them? And in realizing he can save his wife and daughter, he found that hope, turning his nipple from red to white. But fate is a cruel thing, and some things cannot be undone. To save his family, he needs to save them from himself, a younger, more bitter self. He cannot kill him because he himself would die. This cutscene from God of War 2 shows what happens to current Kratos if a past Kratos dies. And so he fails, his family dying all the same. The Furies take hold of him, plague his mind, wipe his memory, and this is the Kratos we find at the start of Ascension. Lost, confused, but still powerful and angry, but not to the extremes of the original. But most importantly, his nipple white, because of the hope he had forgotten, but not lost. The hope that will help him find the truth. The Ascension Kratos is not the same one we see in every other game because he is from an alternate timeline created by the original. I am glad a simple joke led me to finding out the truth. A simple gesture led me to a secret Santa Monica had been hiding from us for years. Captain, I'm truly grateful you encouraged me to go to this journey of discovery. Who knew the inconsistency of Kratos' nipple color would uncover the secret behind the alternate timelines within the God of War universe? As a mere mortal who had served his purpose, until the gods call upon me again to discover what else lies out there, I thank you for watching.